Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Balaba Krivanadari. Gopi Jana Balaba Krivanadari. Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanacharya. Yamuna Tira Vanacharya. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Balaba Grivanadari. Gopi Jana Balaba Grivanadari. Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanacharya. Yamuna Tira Vanacharya. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jayam Vishnupad Paramhangsa Brahvidakacharya Asadhara Satushi Shiman. His Divine Grace Shalasi Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Gaur Premanande Haribol. Glories to the sound devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Om Agyanatmanandasya Gananjana Salakaya Chaksuramilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Parakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavam Scha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raganatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Prijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Visakans Vitamscha. Hey Krishna Karna Sindhu Dinabando Dugatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchena Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Prishubhanu Sutta Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakapa Trubhyascha Kripa Sinubhyevacha Patiranam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Pranityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Okay. Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 9, Chapter 15, Parasuram, the warrior incarnation. We're starting with text 27. Translation. Thereafter, Kartavira Arjuna, having left with the Kamadhenu, Parasuram returned to the ashram. When Parasuram, the youngest son of Janmadagni, heard that Kartavira Arjuna's nefarious deed, he became as angry as a trampled snake. Translation. Taking up his fierce chopper, his shield, his bow, and a quiver of arrows, Lord Parasuram, exceedingly angry, chased Kartavira Arjuna just as a lion chases an elephant. As King Kartavira Arjuna enters his capital, Mahishpati Puri, he saw Lord Parasuram, the best of the Bhrigu dynasty, coming after him, holding a chopper, shield, bow, and arrows. Lord Parasuram was covered with a black deer skin, and his matted locks of hair appeared like the sunshine. Upon seeing Lord Parasuram, Kartavira Arjuna immediately feared him and sent many elephants, chariots, horses, and infantry soldiers equipped with clubs, swords, arrows, rishtis, shatagnis, shaktis, and many similar weapons to fight against him. Kartavira Arjuna sent 17 full akshahinis of soldiers to check Parasuram. But Lord Parasuram alone killed them all. Purport. The word akshahini refers to a military phalanx consisting of 21,870 chariots and elephants, 109,350 infantry soldiers, and 65,610 horses. An expert description is given in the Mahabharata, Adi Parva, 2nd chapter, as follows. So, if Kartavira Arjuna sent 17 akshahinis, how many chariots and elephants did he send? What's that? Simple. 21,870 times 17. That's how many he sent. Yeah. So 17. Well, you could round it off and say 20 by 20 is 400, and you had 3 zeros, so it's 400, approximately 400,000. One chariot, one elephant, 5 infantry soldiers, and 3 horses are called a pati by those who are learned in the science. So if you have 1 chariot, 1 elephant, 5 infantry soldiers, and 3 horses, you have a pati. Anyone hear of a pati? Anyhow, if you ever want to become a warrior, at least you should get 1 pati. The wise also know that a Sena Mukha is 3 times what a pati is. 3 Semamukhis are known as one Gulma. 3 Gulmas are called a Gana, and 3 Ganas are called a Vahini. 3 Vahinis have been referred to by the learned as a Pritana. 3 Pritanas equal 1 Kamu, and 3 Kamus equal 1 Anikani. The wise refers to 10 Anikanis as 1 Akshohini. The chariots of an Akshohini have been calculated at 21,870 by those who know the science of such calculations. O best of the twice born, and the number of elephants is the same. So, how many elephants are there in an Akshohini? What's that? No. 21,000. 21,000. Yeah. The number of soldiers, of infantry soldiers, is 109,350. The number of horses is 65,610. Text 31. Lord Parasuram, being expert in killing the military strength of the enemy, worked with the speed of the mind and the wind, slicing his enemies with his chopper, Parasu. So that's where he gets the name Parasurama, Parasu. Wherever he went, the enemies fell, their legs, arms, and shoulders being severed, the chariot drivers killed, and their carriers, the elephants and horses, all annihilated. I mean, they should make a movie of that. Should be a pretty exciting movie. Of course, it'd probably have to be digitalized. We don't want to kill 870 elephants. It would be quite difficult to find that many, but to speak of killing them. And also the horses would be 65,610 chopped up horses would be quite messy. So AI is artificial intelligence. It has some use. In the beginning, when the army of the enemy was full of fighting soldiers, elephants and horses, Lord Parasuram proceeded into their midst at the speed of mind to kill them. How fast is the mind? Pretty fast. Probably couldn't even see him coming. When some had tired, he slowed down to the speed of the wind. And continued to kill the enemy vigorously. The speed of mind is greater than the speed of the wind. By manipulating his axe and arrows, Lord Parasuram cut to pieces the shields, flags, bows, and bodies of Kartavya Arjuna's soldiers who fell on the battlefield, muddying the ground with their blood. Seeing these reverses, Kartavya Arjuna, infuriated, rushed to the battlefield. Then Kartavya Arjuna, with his 1,000 arms, simultaneously fixed arrows on 500 bows to kill Lord Parasuram. But Lord Parasuram, the best of fighters, released enough arrows with only one bow to cut to pieces immediately all the arrows and bows in the hands of Kartavya Arjuna. I mean, what would be more exciting movie than this? When his arrows were cut to pieces, Kartavya Arjuna uprooted many trees and hills with his own hands, and again rushed strongly towards Parasuram to kill him. Parasuram then used his axe with great force to cut off Kartavya Arjuna's arms, just as one might lop off the hoods of a serpent. Thereafter Parasuram cut off like a mountain peak the head of Kartavya Arjuna, who already had lost his arms. When Kartavya Arjuna's 10,000 sons saw their father killed, they all fled in fear. Then Parasuram, having killed the enemy, released the Karmadenu, which had undergone great suffering, and brought it back with its calf to his residence, where he gave it to his father, Janmandagni. So the moral so far is don't steal Kamadenus. especially Parshurama's around. Parshuram described his father and brother, his activities in killing Kartavya Arjuna. On hearing these deeds, Jagannathagni spoke to his son as follows. A great hero, my dear son Parshuram, you have unnecessarily killed the king, who was supposed to be the embodiment of all the demigods. Thus you have committed a sin. My dear son, we are all brahmanas and have become worshipful for the people in general because of our quality of forgiveness. It is because of this quality that Lord Brahma, the supreme spiritual master of the universe, has achieved his post. Text 41. 41? Oh, 40. Shemaya rochite lakshmir. Well, let's try it again together. Shamaya rochite lakshmir. Rami sori yata prabha. Shaminam ashu bhagavans. Tushite harir ishvaraha. Shamaya rochite lakshmir. Brahmi sori yata prabha. Shaminam ashu bhagavans. Tushite harir ishvaraha. Shamaya rochite lakshmir. Mami sariyeta prabha. Shaminam ashu bhagavans. Tushite hari ishvaraha. Maya rochite lakshmir. Mami sariyeta prabha. Shaminam ashu bhagavan. Today hari ishvaraha. Today lakshmir. Rami saryeta prabha. Hari ishvaraha. Shamaya, simply by forgiving. Rochite, becomes pleasing. Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune. Brahmi, in connection with Brahminical qualifications. Sori, the sun god. Yata, as. Prabha, the sunshine. Shaminam, unto the brahmanas. We're so forgiving. Ashu, very soon. Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Tushite, becomes pleased. Hari, the Lord. Ishvaraha, the Supreme Controller. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada. The duty of a Brahmana is to culture the quality of forgiveness, which is illuminating like the sun. Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari, is pleased with those who are forgiving. Please repeat. The duty of a Brahmana is to cultivate the quality of forgiveness, which is illuminating like the sun. Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari, is pleased with those who are forgiving. Purport. Different personalities become beautiful by possessing different qualities. Chanaka Pandit says that the cuckoo bird, although very black, is beautiful because of its sweet voice. Similarly, a woman becomes beautiful by her chastity and faithfulness to her husband, and an ugly person becomes beautiful when he becomes a learned scholar. In the same way, Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras become beautiful by their qualities. Brahmanas are beautiful when they are forgiving, Kshatriyas when they're heroic and never retreat from fighting, Vaishyas when they enrich cultural activities, protect cows, and Shudras when they are faithful in the discharge of duties pleasing to their masters. Thus everyone becomes beautiful by his special qualities, and the special quality of the Brahmana, as described, is forgiveness. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharane Nirvishesha Srinivadi Paskadyade Sadarane. Anyhow, sorry. In the Bhagavad Gita, at the end of the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna talks about qualities. For instance, for the qualities of the Brahmana, Sama Dhamma Tapaso Cham, Shanti Arjavam Eva Cha, Jnana Vijnana Astikyam, Ramakarma Sabhavajam. Now, this is after Krishna has explained most of the summary of how to reach perfection of Brahman. In order to do that, one has to cultivate certain qualities. Now, it doesn't mean that everyone cultivates the same qualities. As Krishna says, Shreyan swadamo viguna paradharma sunistitat Shredame nidanam shayak paradharmo bhavaha. It is better to perform one's own duty, even if it's imperfect, than perform someone else's duty, even perfectly. Destruction of the cause of one's own duties is better because to follow someone else's duty is dangerous. But there's some objective in performing duties. Generally speaking, in the Varna and Ashram system, the objective should be yagya by Vishnu, to please Vishnu, to please Krishna. But often people are not so much aware of Vishnu, although the very culture of Varnashram is all centered around Vishnu. But also, I don't know what it was like before, but obviously previously, because even Rukmini, when she was going to get married, she went to the temple to worship Durga. Although she was a Vaishnava, even they were Vaishnavas, but still they had some idea of we had to please the demigods to get our material prosperity. They were Vaishnavas, but not pure Vaishnavas. Although Srimati Rukmini Devi was the goddess of fortune, so obviously she's in a different category. So there's some kind of mixture of Vaishnavism and demigod worship, etc., etc. Even in Dwapara Yuga, what to speak of Kali Yuga, where no one's quite sure if, as it says, Yata Tura Mula Nishet Shinena Tripyanti Tatskanda Bhujo Prashaka Pranaharacha Detendriyanam Tataiva Savarhamam Up Chuteja. That our philosophy is if we satisfy Vishnu, then everyone else is satisfied. But although we're trying to become devotees, but that may not be our complete conviction. We always have our if Vishnu doesn't work, he doesn't come through, we have our second, third, and 15th alternatives. Just in case he's still sleeping, he never woke up after Chaturmasya, and therefore better to have some kind of alternative if he doesn't come through with what we need. Therefore, on the altar, many times at the devotees' altars, we find there's Ganesh there, there's Lord Shiva, there's Durga, usually a little less than the 33 million demigods, but whatever could fit on the altar is there. Because the idea is that Krishna is nice, but, he says, yes, Yanuguranami Karishe Taddanam Shanai, that sometimes he even takes away things from his devotees rather than give them. So he's not the perfect person you're going to bet on to come through with what you want. You may pray to him and then find out that your bank account has just disappeared. So Lord Shiva doesn't do that. If you try to please him, especially through austerity, then he'll give you everything you want, even the power to kill people just by touching their heads, if that's what you want. But you have to do the same kind of austerity that Vrikasura did. You have to eat only ashes for 1 year. I don't think most of us are not prepared to do that. He didn't even put salt on the ashes. He just ate the... In any case, we're supposed to be worshiping Krishna in order to develop the qualities of a pure devotee. That's our objective. That we're hearing about Krishna consciousness with the idea, as I said the other day, we were supposed to hear something. Just hear something what's been said. Most of us, probably none of us, are Shrutidars. And even if we were, we memorize, in our minds, we memorize every single word that was said during class, we wouldn't know what to do with it. It'd just be another tape in our back of our minds. So better to find something that we can apply, either on the gross or the subtle platform. And it should lead to the platform of meditation in trance upon Krishna. There is an objective. It's not just, we're just here in class because, for whatever reason, it could be, if I come to class, that I get a little pious credit, and my family will be healthy and strong, the bank balance will increase, and my digestion will be good, so I'll be able to eat prasadam today. But the actual objective, as Prabhupada writes in the Krishna book, is to focus one's attention and then give one's love to Krishna. So that's why we're listening, so that if we get some idea of how to focus our attention on Krishna, that's very good. And then above that, or perhaps along with that, how to give our love to Krishna, which means not only our attention, but our service. Because love means service. It's not that we're hearing about Krishna just, maybe someone can tell a nice story, we stay awake during class, or they tell a joke, which is really extra special, and then we laugh, have a good time. So, but that's not the objective entirely. The objective is that we hear about Krishna in such a way as we become enthusiastic to do some service to him. Tad buddhiyas tad atmanas tad nishtas tad parayanaha gachantnipana aritim jnana nirduta kalmasha. First of all, the first service we're doing is trying to learn how to listen. Tad buddhiyas. Listening means to feed our spiritual intelligence when we're hearing about Krishna. When we're hearing about other things outside of Krishna consciousness, we're feeding our material intelligence. But everyone's trying to feed their intelligence. Even the birds are trying to feed their intelligence. One bird is going beep, beep, and the other bird is going beep, beep, beep. You know what that means? Beep, beep. It's very simple. They have a very simple grammar. If you want to learn multiple languages, then start with the bird language, because it's easy to learn. Beep, beep means, where is the worm? And beep, beep, beep means it's over there. So this is feeding their intelligence. They're asking a question to find out what to do, and someone who knows more than they do, they're getting the answer. So that's about even mundane things. We're feeding either our mundane intelligence for a sense gratification or a spiritual intelligence, a spiritual advancement, by hearing. So everything we're hearing, we're feeding our intelligence one way or the other. And of course, the quality of the hearing will depend upon how receptive we are and how realized the speaker is. Then if we do that, if we hear nicely, as it said, tate nukampam susamikshamano, tate nuka anukampam. So anukampam means out of compassion. So people, out of compassion or for some financial gain, they're giving some intelligence, something, direction in life. But here Krishna, in that verse, he said, tate nukampam. Out of compassion, he's talking about his devotees. Su samikshamano. Su means open, receptive. Because we don't gain anything if we're not receptive. Someone can give us the most important advice of our lives, and if we're not receptive, if we're not paying attention, then we'll just miss out on all of it. So su means open, just like this word sukha. Do you know what ka means? What is ka? Buddha eva ka. But it's bhumir apanulo vayu, kamanu eva cha. You know that verse? What's that? Kam. What's that? Like sky. Yeah, it's close. Space. Space. Sky is also part of the space. We also have space in our bodies. So, su means very nicely. It means open, actually. And ka means space. So when there's space in our body, we feel good. If things are flowing in our body, everything's open, blood's flowing nicely, we're eating things, it's being assimilated, and the unnecessary parts are being eliminated, then we feel sukha, we feel happy. When things get kind of like restricted, nothing's flowing, then we feel dukkha. Du means lack of space. Bad space, actually. Good space, bad space, open space and closed space. Therefore, su samikshamano, open, iksha, open to see things differently, properly. Iksha means like to see. Akshaya, there's a Shintamani, Prakasha, Venum, Kwanantam, Aravinda, Dalakshaya. He has blooming eyes like lotus petals. So Iksha also means like eyes, to see. So when we see things properly, open, when we're receptive to see things as they actually are, then sumikshamano. Then our minds become open to reality. Then we can actually experience what's actually going on here. Susamikshamano bunja. So, tad buddhas tad atmanas. Atmanas means the mind. So when we're trying to use our intelligence to open our minds up, to actually see reality, to actually experience what's actually going on in our existence, what's really going on. As Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Nainun gunebhyas kartaram drashteva nupashati gunebhyas cha param veti madhvavam sodhigachati. When you can see that there's nothing beyond the three modes of material nature and that the Supreme Lord is transcendental to them, then you can know my divine nature. So we have to open our consciousness up and see what's really going on in my life. What's causing my suffering, what's causing my happiness, what's causing me to make some becoming inquisitive about Krishna consciousness, to become interested in developing a desire to attain Krishna, for instance, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. Susamikshmano. Bhunjana, and then what will we actually see? Bhunjana evatmakritam vipakam. Then we'll actually see that nothing's happening by accident. It's all it's all perfectly going on under Krishna's direction. And if we're experiencing whatever we're experiencing, then it's bhunjana evatmakritam vipakam. It's because what we've done in the past. We're experiencing what's going on in the present. And what we're doing in the present as reaction to it will determine what will happen in our future. Bhunjana evatmakritam vipakam. So therefore, the Brahmins who have the greatest awareness of what's going on, they're the most tolerant. Because they realize they're in that position, whatever it might be, because of what they've done in the past, and unless they fix their mind on the proper quality, the proper devotional quality, Krishna consciousness, ultimately, they're going to wind up in a similar situation in the future as a reaction. Therefore, they're not simply, someone hits them in the face or slaps them in the face, and they turn the other cheek just to show how nice they are. No, they understand. They don't necessarily turn the other cheek, by the way. But they know that they have to figure out what Krishna wants them to do as a reaction. So therefore, they're tolerant. They think about what to do in terms of what Krishna wants them to do through Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra and consultation with Paramatma within their heart, so that they don't wind up doing something which is detrimental to themselves and everyone else. That's called buddhi. So their minds are tolerant. And then, tad buddhiyas, tad atmanas, tad nishta. And ultimately, the conclusion is, whatever circumstances, we have to take shelter of Krishna. Like Ambarish Maharaj. Ambarish Maharaj was fasting for a whole year during Ekadasi, Nilajal Ekadasi. And Durvasa Muni, it was an Ekadasi fasting day, and Ambarish Maharaj was about to break his Ekadasi. Sometime he would have to break his fast, but Durvasa Muni showed up for prasad with his 10,000 followers. And Ambarish Maharaj said, well, you take your bath, and when you come back, then we can have prasadam. So he went to Durvasa Muni and his 10,000 followers went to the Ganges to take their bath, expecting a nice feast when they came back. But Durvasa Munis always seemed to cause some trouble to someone. So he didn't come back when it was time to break the fast. And Ambarish would lose all his credit, probably get some reaction for not breaking the fast at the proper time. But then if he broke it, it would be an insult to Durvasa Muni, that he took prasadam before Durvasa Muni and his 10,000 followers. So he asked the Brahmins, they said, you can take some water. Because taking water, if you want to know, is breaking the fast and not breaking the fast. So he took some water, and Durvasa Muni came back, and by his mystic power, he found out that that Ambarish Maharaj had drunk some water. So Durvasa Muni, for one reason or another, he gets angry or tries to just cause trouble. So he said, this king, he's insulted a Brahmin. He's taken prasada before the sages have taken prasada. So he plucked out a piece of hair from his head, created a fiery demon to kill Ambarish Maharaj. Things were a little extreme back there. You think we have trouble now. And he threw the fiery demon at Ambarish Maharaj. So Ambarish Maharaj, he didn't start begging for mercy or run away. He just stood there, and tears were coming from his eyes. Not due to the fact that he was afraid he was about to be killed by the fiery demon, but he took refuge in Lord Krishna, Vishnu. And he was so much ecstatic thinking about Krishna, personally associating with Krishna in his meditation, that he was in ecstasy, and one of the signs where the tears were coming from his eyes. He didn't care. He couldn't care if he was going to die. He wasn't going to die. He was in ecstasy, meditating on Vishnu. He wasn't in the material concept of life. He was transcendental. But Vishnu, for such a devotee like that, he would protect him. He's not going to have his devotee killed while he's meditating on him, generally speaking. Then he says he carries what we lack and preserve what we have. Don't declare it boldly, O son of Kunti, that my devotee will never be vanquished. So Krishna threw his Sudarsana chakra at Durvasa Muni. First of all, he destroyed the fiery demon with the Sudarsana chakra, and then he had the Sudarsana chakra chase after Durvasa Muni for 1 year. Therefore, the objective is nishta, liberation from our material concept of life, and we do that by taking shelter of Krishna, go beyond the material existence. That's the idea of Krishna consciousness, at least. Tad buddhiyas, tad atmanas, tad nishtat, tad parayana. And ultimately, fixing the mind upon Krishna, then we realize that Krishna is actually, we should take shelter of him, Sharanagati, in all respects. Develop the good qualities of a pure devotee. So Brahminical tolerance is only one stage. It's a stage of nishta. The Brahmins are trying to come to the platform of liberation from the material concept, and we're trying to come to the platform of parayanaha, of taking shelter of Vishnu, Krishna, not just trying to get liberated from the miseries of material existence. But still, the Brahmins have that good quality, and if they're fortunate and have an association of devotees, then become Brahmin Vaishnavas. Similarly, others develop good qualities, but these qualities are appreciated because everyone has to have some objective. For instance, chastity in the Varnashram system. It is not that there's really an alternative, that, for instance, here a woman should be chaste. Doesn't mean that the man should be unchaste, but the women, the good quality of a woman is faithfulness to the husband. Now, if she's not faithful to the husband, then she'll go to hell, which is not a good alternative. And of course, she may think, well, I'd rather go to hell than be faithful to this husband. But anyhow, it's not recommended. Therefore, women also have to learn tolerance. Everyone has to learn tolerance. The perfection of the tolerance is the Brahmins show that quality of tolerance by examples such as here of Kartavir Arjuna telling that Parshuram, you're supposed to be a Brahmin. He wasn't he was actually transcendental to the Brahmins. But anyhow, a family of Brahmins were supposed to be tolerant, etc. And he was tolerant because they took away his Kamadhenu cow. He could have told the Kamadhenu cow to destroy Parshuram's army. Not Parshuram. Kartavir Arjuna's army, but he was tolerant. He wasn't attached. Now, if we had a Kamadhenu cow in Krishna service, I think we should be a little attached. We do a lot of devotional spreading Krishna consciousness. But if Krishna wanted, he could give us a Kamadhenu cow, but we probably wouldn't know how to use it. See, all the devotees eating ice cream all day. Stop doing devotional service. Just big feasts of gulab-jamins and ice cream and pizza coming out of the Kamadhenu cow. So he doesn't do that. He doesn't provide that for us yet. In any case, the quality of everyone is supposed to have their quality, and that quality, at least the Vedic qualities that are supposed to be developed. For instance, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Abhayam sattva samchudira jnana yoga vivastite dhanam dhammas chajagnas cha swadhyatapa arjava. And he goes on. He points out the good qualities of the sannyasis, the good qualities of the vanaprasthas, the good qualities of the grihastas, the good qualities of the brahmacharis. And then all the others, the shudras, the vaishyas, in that same verse. Ahimsa, avayam sattva samachudira jnana yoga vyastiti, dhanam dhammas trajagnascha swadaya tap arjavam, ahimsa socham at krodas, tyaya dhyaga apaishanam, daya bhutena lolu tvam, mordavanriya chapalam. So Krishna points out the good qualities of everyone. Everyone has the possibility of developing good qualities. They can do it gradually by following an example and instructions that someone has the good qualities they're supposed to develop, or by becoming conscious of Krishna. And ultimately, becoming conscious of Krishna is the most important quality, because if we don't become conscious of Krishna, then by bad association, we'll lose all our good qualities. The only possible steady, safe position is to try to develop our duty by performing our duty, what we're supposed to do, develop the good qualities by becoming conscious of Krishna. And how is that? We hear what we're supposed to do. We try to put it into our minds, tad buddhiyas, tad atmanas. We try to put it in our minds so we can see it, ikshate. So we can see what's being talked about, understand it, assimilate it, see it from all points of view, and then we know what to do. And one of the things we're supposed to do is fix our minds upon Krishna, conviction. Conviction that I should be doing this for Krishna to please him. Actually, the conviction is in three parts. The first part is that everything here belongs to Krishna. That's what we're supposed to remember. If we do that, then we've gotten the Siddhanta. And that everything's supposed to be utilized for Krishna's service. One is called Sambandha, and the next is Abhideya. That's our conviction we're trying to develop. And then there is the idea of becoming an instrument for Krishna, to try to serve Krishna in a pleasing way, trying to become a friend of all living entities, because Krishna is the friend, and therefore that's prayojana. Try to become a lover of Krishna, a friend of all living entities. So that's our conviction. That's what we're trying to develop, the conviction of those three things. Bhoktaram yagatapasam sarva loka maheshwaram suridam sarvabhutanam gyatpamam shantim richati. That the sages, they know Krishna as the ultimate, well, the first thing is actually, he's the proprietor of all the planets and demigods. He's the ultimate benefactor and well-wish. He's the ultimate benefactor of all sacrifices and austerities, and he's the well-wisher of all living entities. This is our conviction, that Krishna is like that, and that everything here is meant for Krishna's service, and Krishna's service, under Krishna's directions, is to help everyone become Krishna conscious, become their real benefactor. Then, after conviction comes skill, because we may be convinced that that's what we're supposed to do, but then we have to become expert at it. A lot of devotees, sometimes we're enthusiastic to do something, but we don't do it so skillfully, and therefore we do a little clumsily, and therefore there's some unwanted consequences. Like devotees sometimes they were told that Prabhupada was pleased if we distribute books, and therefore sometimes the devotees did in such a way as to disturb people. And therefore neither they read the book, nor did they created disturbance for the devotee community. But the idea was good. It's really books, but sometimes it's done clumsily. Therefore we have to learn the skill, the art of doing it. Everything has an art. Then if we do that, we do it skillfully in such a way as to please Krishna, because that's the greatest skill. Then the result is that we'll meditate and trance upon Krishna, and we'll become a perfect instrument for Krishna. And like Vidura, when he came back from pilgrimage, Maharaja greeted him with the words, Bhavan Vidas Bhagavatas Tirtha Bhutak Swayam Vibho Tirtha Korvanti Tirtani Swantak Stena Gatabrata. That saints like yourself, they're verily holy places of pilgrimage. because wherever you go, you turn that place into a place of pilgrimage because you carry the Lord within your heart. So that's all our objectives. Carry Krishna within our heart. His name, his form, his quality, his pastimes. And then when Krishna is there, when the pastimes of Krishna are fully manifested, then everywhere we go, that place will become a place of pilgrimage. It was true for Vidura, it's true for Srila Prabhupada, it can be true for all of us if we follow the process of Krishna consciousness as given to us by our acharyas. That's our objective. That's what we're trying to achieve. And if we know that's what we're trying to achieve, then when we're hearing, when we're trying to remember, when we're trying to put into practice with conviction what we're doing, we're trying to develop skill in that. If it's all directed towards developing the idea of helping everyone become conscious of Krishna, fulfilling the mission of Krishna, then we'll also become conscious of Krishna. And if we do that, then Krishna will appear within. If Krishna is in our heart, then that's how we can help others become conscious of Krishna. If we are conscious of Krishna and the bliss and the perfect awareness of Krishna, we become a perfect instrument for Krishna. Then we'll know exactly what to do, what to say. We'll know who to associate with in order to illuminate them in consciousness of Krishna consciousness, not by our own endeavor, by our own force, by our own energy, but because Krishna will manifest himself. He'll be manifested through our hearts. Wherever the devotee goes, the pure devotee goes, that place is the spiritual world. As Advaita Acharya told Lord Chaitanya, he said, wherever you are, that is Vrindavan. Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was living in Vrindavan within his consciousness. So we can bring that too. That's what we're trying to do. We may make so many material arrangements to spread Krishna consciousness, but the best arrangement is to become conscious of Krishna ourselves and then try to give that, whatever we've learned, to others and try to bring Krishna into our give people Krishna's association by our being a devotee of Krishna and allowing Krishna to manifest himself through us. And then all the good qualities will be there. Yes, yasti bhakti bhagavata kinchana savarganas tatra samasate sara ara bhaktasi kato mahaguna manoratani nasati davato bhahi. So if we try to do that, then all the good qualities of the demigods will manifest through us, and we'll be able to experience the pleasure and the happiness of Krishna's pastimes, and therefore we'll get the happiness and advantage of that, and we'll be able to give it to others too. Krishna will give it to others too, if we're willing to do that. It's become Krishna's instrument. And then all the good qualities will manifest it. But if we try to do it some other way, then we'll be hovering on the mental platform, and temporarily we may show some good qualities, but by the association with the illusory energy, they might all disappear very quickly. So I'll stop there. Thank you. Any questions? Yes.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Lord Sri Ram left everything, the kingdom, everything, to keep his father's word. And here we are seeing Parshuram, even though his father saying don't do violence and everything, he anyhow killed like 21 times all the Kshatriyas. So how do we understand this?
You're talking about Lord Ramachandra, I guess, leaving the... How do we understand? Because Prabhupada writes that if one is in the material concept of life, he has to do his duty. But when one transcends the material concept of life and comes to the spiritual platform, he knows exactly what his duty is. And even if he was born as a Brahmana in some particular situation, when he knows as Parshuram is an incarnation of the Supreme Lord, he had a mission to fulfill. He wasn't a Brahmin anymore. He was an incarnation of Krishna. He wasn't in the material concept of life. But as long as we're in the material concept of life, we can't artificially pretend that we're liberated, because we'll just get ourselves into difficulty imitating a liberated person. Unless one is liberated, one will not know exactly what he's supposed to do. So one has to do his duty also. Well, he's trying to become liberated. Yes.
Part of the story was the relationship with King Ruruva and Urvasi.
Purava.
Purava. King Purava, he did a yagna, fire yagna, so he could keep a date with Urvasi up in Gandharva Loka. So I was reading, I was trying to figure out exactly what happened there. Did he flame on like Sati, burned
No,
himself up, or did
doesn't
he?
say that.
How did he take birth in Gandharva Loka, or did he just go there with the visa?
Well, I don't know. It doesn't say how he got there, but he got there. The love, if there's love, there's no obstacles. Somehow or other he got there.
Jai Maharaj, thank you for an illuminating class. And, in this verse, it talks about that the Brahmins have forgiveness that's illuminating like the sun. And so even if you're not Brahminical, forgiveness is a wonderful quality, isn't it? Because
Yeah,
if you
of course
can't
we-
forgive, then the heart becomes hard.
Shame. Of course. Therefore Krishna says, Arjuna, you're not your body. And Arjuna tells Krishna that, all right, I'm not my body, my grandfather or my teacher is not, they're also not their body. But I'm not really going to enjoy killing them, to tell you the truth. I know that they'll get a better birth, etc., but it's not exactly what I'm looking forward to. Therefore Krishna says, Matras Parshus Tukandiya Chitoshna Sukadugada Agama Pano Nisyam Tam Titikshva Sabharata. The appearance and disappearance of winter and summer season are like the appearance and disappearance, the appearance and disappearance of happiness and distress are like the appearance and disappearance of winter and summer season. Arise from sense perceptional sign of Bharata. One will learn to tolerate them without being disturbed. So we're going to have to learn tolerance. It's not like there's a quick way out of the material world, and it doesn't include tolerance. Therefore Krishna says that which in the beginning like bitter like poison, in the end is like nectar, and which awakens one to self-realization, said to be happiness in the mode of goodness. So we have to expect there's going to be obstacles and trials. Otherwise we're not going to be able to develop desire to attain Krishna. So it's not like, Brahma, he sat on the lotus flower trying to control his mind, which is the great austerity, tapa, for millions of years until he finally was able to fix his mind on the words tapa. That's all he had. And then Krishna reciprocated and revealed the spiritual world to him. So we have to go through some trials. Everyone in Srimad Bhagavatam goes through trials. They don't just appear and then, go out and play sports all day long, and then Krishna decides to appear one day to them. They have to do some austerity, some tolerance, learn tolerance, control
But
their
it's
senses.
like Draupadi, isn't it? When Ashvatthama slaughtered all of her sons in the sleep, isn't it? So then she forgave him.
Yeah, so forgiveness, something lacking in this age. Tatas chanudidam dharmam satvam socham dharashama valena kalira rajan akshatyaya balam smriti. Day after day in Kali Yuga, what we'll see, according to the Bhagavatam, which we're seeing, all dharma goes down. And what is dharma? Tatas chanudidam dharma. Satyam socham dayashama. Satyam, truthfulness, cleanliness, tolerance, mercy, they're all diminishing. Valena Kalira Rajan, by the strong force of Kali Yuga, Nakshantya Yabala. People lose their memory and their bodily strength. So that's Kali Yuga. And as we find in the 19th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, it's all because they're slaughtering the animals, especially the cow. Everything's going to hell because of it.
Thank you, Maharaj.
They can't control their tongues.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, several times you quoted the verse that buddhaya sadatmanas, and in that purport, and it's been something that has been confusing me. It says that I think Srila Prabhupada mentions that the Krishna conscious person is completely aware that there is duality in Krishna.
In
and
this purport here?
Not in this purport, Maharaj, in the verse that you were quoting, the Tad Buddhayas Tad Atmanas.
What's that?
The verse that you quoted from the Gita, the Tad Buddhayas Tad Atmanas, Tad Nishtash Tad Parayana. So in that purport, Srila Prabhupada mentions that a Krishna conscious person is completely aware that there is duality in Krishna. And then he says simultaneous identity and individuality. And if one understands that, then, I mean, when we are talking about understanding Krishna, and it's been that there has been questions regarding that, but I don't understand.
I don't know.
I think it's Bhagavad Gita 5.
Everything has to be seen in context.
Yeah.
It's chapter, no, it's Bhagavad Gita 5:17. 5:7.
At the very end of, I think somewhere in there.
Krishna conscious person can thoroughly understand that there is duality, simultaneous identity and individuality in Krishna. Equipped with such transcendental knowledge, one can make steady progress in the path of liberation. Well, obviously this is, well, I don't know, obviously. Simultaneously one in difference. That Krishna, we're one with Krishna, but we're different from him. That we have an identity with Krishna, but we also have our individuality. Krishna has his individuality and identity, and we do also. We're part and parcel of Krishna. So then we can make some progress. Instead of trying to become Krishna, we can learn how to take shelter of Krishna properly. Anything else? Thank you very much. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Premanande. Okay, what is the question?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, you had mentioned that a Vaishnava tries to do everything for Krishna, or tries to understand what Krishna wants him to do, and through that process is usually Guru Sadhu Shastra. So when we're at a crossroads, the Guru part to me makes a lot of sense. You humbly approach your Guru. How do we approach Sadhu and Shastra when we're having a confusion or doubt or a crossroads in our life?
Humbly. In other words, we can approach Guru and he can tell you something, but he may not know what you're supposed to do either. It's not like the Guru tells you, you just approach the Guru and he tells you something, and you just do it, and everything's all right. No, Krishna, the Guru is supposed to help us, the Sadhu and Shastra is supposed to help us understand what Krishna wants us to do. That's the deciding factor. And Krishna is Paramatma within the heart. So therefore, if it's really perplexing, we have to go through a process of humbly investigating. And when everything becomes 100% clear, then we can act with conviction in Krishna consciousness to please Krishna. And that's called Krishna consciousness, devotional service. But if we just do something without, perfectly balanced between Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra, exactly what we're supposed to do, and we just do it, then we won't get the result of being Krishna conscious. Of course, generally speaking, If the guru is highly qualified, then he can tell us exactly what Krishna wants us to do. But we can't, neither the guru, especially the guru, if he's not on that level of being in direct contact with Paramatma, he shouldn't be so quick to tell you exactly what to do without either finding out. For instance, if you're guru and you ask the guru, should I get married or not to this lady? And he said, sure, go ahead and do it. And he's never been married, he doesn't even know who the lady is. Good luck. You have to explain the whole. If he's qualified to become a marriage counselor, and even after explaining everything to him, he has the time to listen to the whole thing, and then even if he gives you good advice, he's probably wise to not tell you exactly what to do, but to leave it up to you to do it. Plus, if it doesn't work out, which a lot of times it doesn't, then you'll blame him, and you'll lose faith in Krishna. I thought you were Krishna's representative. I followed your instructions. I thought it was going to work out, and it didn't work out the way I wanted it to. So therefore, there's something missing there. Therefore, we should approach the guru for things that he knows about. He can give us a good answer, definite answer, like, what is Brahman, what is Paramatma, what is Bhagavan. Not about things that he has no idea about. And then we follow it, thinking that, well, he's the guru. Krishna's going to have to support him. I asked the guru, is it right if I rob the bank? It's probably... The guru says, sure, I get 50%. And you rob the bank and you get arrested. And you tell the person who got arrested, you say, my guru told me to do it. Police are not going to go and arrest the guru. They arrest you. Maybe they will arrest the guru too. Then he'll deny he told her to do it, whatever. Because Prabhupada once told the devotees they should go out and get flowers. They went out for the Rath Yatra, whatever it was, and they went out and got flowers and they got caught. And the devotees came back disappointed and told Prabhupada, Prabhupada, we got caught. So Prabhupada said, I told you to get the flowers, I didn't tell you to get caught. Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Premanande.